What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Beyond the Grave Media. Beyond the Grave Media After Dark. It is 1:15 a.m., which means if you can do math and add 3, it is 4:15 on the East Coast. And tonight I want to just quickly come at you and give you my thoughts on the new Filippo Brothers movie that I just watched today in a theater by myself. One other guy came in, one other guy left after about 20 minutes. He had had enough. We are talking about Bring Her Back, the sophomore effort of the Filippo Brothers, who of course made 2022's Talk to Me. I'm going to try to make this review as spoiler free as I can, which is really a bummer because I think that this is really one of those to spoil or not to spoil kind of reviews, because it's really hard to get into what actually happens without talking about it. And if you've seen the trailer, if you know anything about it, then you kind of know that this is a film that's been done to death before, and for some reason it's still relatively refreshing, still relatively effective, because they use the grief and the drama to bring the horror. And I'm telling you right now, when this film brings the horror, it punishes you. It beats you over the damn head. Now, so you don't have to scroll to the end of the video, I'm going to tell you what I think about this film right now. Are you ready? Okay, I recorded this review 2 times already, and for whatever reason it didn't take. The microphone didn't work and the camera cut out. So I'm going to tell you right now, I'm in a 7.5. I don't believe in that 5-star crap. I'm out of 10. I like to have a little bit of wiggle room. When I came out of the theater, I was right down the, kind of on the upper end of the middle. I was like at a 7. The more I've thought about this film, the more I think that this is a 7.5 kind of film all day, leaning towards 8. I can't get it out of my brain. My wife was like, did you go watch that film by yourself? How was it? I hated Talk to Me. It scared me so bad I never want to see it again. I was like, actually, babe, you could probably handle this one. I think for whatever reason, the drama and the grief in this film, not to be like a Hereditary 2.0, not to be like a Stephen King film that's very, very popular about burying your loved ones, but it has a lot of similarities with a lot of those films, and it's still different, it's still refreshing, and it's still original enough to really warrant your time. I'm almost at an 8 out of 10 out of this film. And I still think I'm kind of mixed. I think, the things that I love about this film I'll get into, and the things that I hate I'll get into. But really, I think that this film had great characters. It had great actors. It had a great story. I think it just did not execute that first 40 minutes of this film. I was on board, man. I was drinking the Jim Jones punch. I was on their side. I was in it to win it with this film. And then I feel like the ending and the way they tried to tie this thing up, the way they showed their hand, really just, it didn't give me that conclusion, man. It didn't have that vital X factor that really makes me want to, I don't know, I want to revisit it really, really soon, because the more I think about it, if I can get an unrated cut of this film, if I can get the commentary, and if I can get some special features to know what the things are that happen with this film, I'd probably feel a lot better. So let's explain kind of what happens. You've got this family, this brother and sister pair. One of them's like 17 and is going to try to get custody of his younger sister, who is blind. And of course, they have a situation where they have to move him with the foster parent in Southern Australia, right? And so they move him with this parent, and this parent is a great actress, this foster parent, but there's something a little bit off. She's a little bit crazy, not crazy enough to really warrant like, hey, we got to start, banging the bells and whistles about this film. But she's weird enough. And I can tell you right now, these Filippo brothers, man, they know how to build tension. They know how to build a story. They know how to make things awkward. They know how to give you full frontal nudity, creepy new home, weird foster mom, jokes about how people look, trying to scare a blind girl, right? Nooses, dead. It's just punishing set design, punishing sound. Great. Like the way that they zoom in, the way that the weather is a character, the way that the fall leaves happen, the rain. This is a great looking film, like without question. I believe it's an 824 film. It looks great. It looks damn good. It's got great characters. It's got a great story. I just think that the way that this film tries to build itself towards the end, it gets a little bit too ambiguous, and it does not wrap up those loose questions that we all have at the end. And I think for a lot of people, they're going to be like, dude, you had us. Why did you do this? That's not enough to totally ruin the film for me. I think a lot of people are going to be mixed on this. They're going to be split right down the middle. This is going to be a 1-star review or a 5-star review for a lot of people. And if you look on Google right now, it's actually kind of pinned at 4.4 the last time I looked. And so Google reviews are a better representation than Rotten Tomatoes, so I think people really like the visceral, gut-wrenching violence in this film. There is violence on display that I did not see coming. I'd heard a lot of people talk about how intense it was, and so I was kind of like, oh my god, this is going to happen. Something bad's going to happen. We're totally ready for this to go. And then nothing happened. It kind of peters out a little bit while still having some crazy scenes where like you're literally like, oh shit, why are they doing that? If you have a thing for dentists, if you have a thing for knives, if you're afraid of the Slayer album cover, right? There is a bathtub scene in this film with glowing red. There is some scenes in this film that are so damn intense that totally work, that just really they just, you have to get out of the way. You have to squirm a little bit. The sound design of this film is so loud, like it rattled my brain. I was so happy with the way that this film looked and the way that this film sounded. And really, for most of this movie, I was totally on board. It's got a little bit of an August Underground effect to it. It's got some curses. It's got some hauntings. It's got some supernatural stuff. It's got all these things that could have made this thing just an absolute 10, and it just kind of failed at the end. And that's, if I get most of a good ride with the film, I'm going to give it a pretty good review. I think that I'd rather really enjoy something and actually enjoy the experience and remembering things on the way home than just be like, that was kind of forgettable. I can't stop thinking about this film. I definitely want to watch it. I think a lot of people can handle this film. If Talk to Me scared you, this is not like that. It still has a lot of those same traits, and there is a couple of scenes in this film, don't get me wrong, that are going to unnerve some people. They're going to be way more than they can handle. When they decide to go for the gore, they go way in. They go full gore. They go body horror, and it is so damn effective. There's pools. There's crazy cameras that snake around. There's crashes into sinks. There's eating wood. There's breaking of teeth. There is punishing, pounding violence in this film. There's people being offed. There's a little bit of like the monkey with some of the violence without all of that crappy digital effects. It looked like most of this was practical. It looked like people really struggling, really having a hard time with their grief. And I think that, fucking hats off to these dudes for even having the balls to do that after a film like Talk to Me. Talk about the sophomore slump. I'm telling you right now, you don't have to do a film like this. You could just play it safe. You could go right back to the well and make a Talk to Me 2 and not take the chances that they did in this movie. And I think that's really what I respect about this, was it's like horror is in a great place to have people like this that want to show you the bad. They want to show you the things that are uncomfortable. They want to get into like making you feel so bad for these characters that you have to go on an odyssey with them into the depths of despair. They just had such a good story, man. It just, yeah, it's just a little bit flat in the ending, but you know what? That's fine. Anytime you can have daytime horror, that is welcome as hell with me. Body horror, like I said, things you don't see coming, kitchen and cantaloupes and scenes that are just shocking, chest, guts, butthole quivers, something fierce. Dude, when this movie decides to flip the script, it ratchets up the tension to 100%. Forget about kids dying of taurine and Celsius energy drinks. Give me anything that's in the ground of that South Australia soil. It is visceral, man. It is bludgeoning. I really had a great time with how hardcore this thing goes. I'm not gonna lie though, for parts of this film I thought that they lost me as the audience, because for one, I'm the only person in there and it's just ricocheting and everything's so intense. But it was also like, okay, are we gonna explain why this is like, I hate to be that guy, but I was kind of being that guy. If you can get through that, you can really have a good time with this film. Pain, torment, malevolence done in a really refreshing way. There are some scenes in this film that almost reminded me of Megan is Missing. Before you go into the gutter, not those kind of scenes. Just shocking images where you're stuck on something and they zoom in. They make you squirm. They really get into the violence in this film, and God bless them for that, man. It's almost like food porn, like for this family that's watching this stuff. I really need to spoil this film. I'm not going to, but really, if anybody remembers the Slayer album cover, right? Nice little nod, snacking on oak tables, hits that keep on coming. How about Cannibal Corpse? How about Eaten Back to Life, everybody? This film has got some guaranteed horrific blood and a damn good time. I think if you can get past that other thing, like I said, I keep saying that, but I did record this video a few times. I think I'm at an 8 out of 10. 7.5, 7.75. Let's split it at 7.5 out of 10. 7.5 out of 10. I think when I purchase this film on 4K, I'm definitely going to get up to an 8. Maybe I really cannot recommend it enough for fans of visceral, body, gory horror. And you just got to be prepared for the drama and the grief that was similar to Talk to Me, you know, but definitely way more front forward in this film. There are scenes where the horror is not coming. And what is with the sound choices in these films from these Philip brothers? I don't understand the rape. Really, these old people are going to really be listening to that kind of music unless they're trying to hide the screams and wailing of somebody else. Maybe. Guys, I love you very much. Definitely go check this thing out in theaters. Let me know if you've seen it. Did you like it? Are you one of those that it did not work for you, or on the bottom end of that scale? Or did you take the bait, drink the Kool-Aid, and you're definitely where I'm at, where it worked for you? Because for the sum of its parts, the gore, the body horror, it was just enough to keep us coming back and keep your ass glued in the seat, guys. Take care. Cheers.